Nier Automata is an action RPG developed by Platinum Games and published by Square Enix. It's available on PS4, Xbox One and PC, and is also playable on PS5 and Xbox S or X consoles if you're lucky enough to have one of those already. It's the indirect sequel to Nier Replicant and the original Nier, but you really don't need to have played either of those games if you want to enjoy this. The story is set in the year 11945 during the 14th Machine War. So let me start by saying that if you missed this game, you have made some terrible life choices and should be ashamed of yourself. The good news is that you'll be in good company in the shame den. You'll be joined by me for a start, as I missed this game completely until very recently. The game was originally released back in 2017, so in my defence, at that time I was busy training for my black belt, so most of my time was spent being punched in the face repeatedly and telling myself I was getting better. Anyway, in this review I'll tell you a little about what makes this game so incredible and totally worth playing regardless of the platform or the fact that it's over 3 years old. I won't go into the details of the story or show anything too late into the game as I don't want to spoil it for you. For this video I'm using early game footage and footage from the trailers only. I will be showing a couple of the very early boss fights. I need to do that in order to illustrate why the gameplay in this game is so immense. If you enjoy the video and find it useful, please leave me a like and comment, it really helps to keep the channel growing. Okay, so the base story is set in the distant future. Invaders from another world attack without warning, unleashing a new type of threat, weapons known as machine life forms. In the face of this insurmountable threat, mankind is driven from the Earth and takes refuge on the Moon. The Council of Humanity organises a resistance of android soldiers in an effort to take back their planet. To break the deadlock, the resistance deploys a new unit of android infantry, YoRHa. In the forsaken wasteland below, the war between the machines and the androids rages on, a war that is soon to unveil the long-forgotten truth of this world. So the story itself is deep, much deeper than it's given credit for or explained in any of the basic synopsis you might read. It initially plays out as a good versus evil, humans versus robots, your typical cliché story, but if you pay attention to the story and you allow it to engross you, as it did me, you'll find that you begin to reflect on things like morality, friendship and the nature of beauty. Yeah, it's pretty amazing on that front. The character design and the way the story is told will soon turn your initial notion on its head, but the story, whilst amazing and surprising, actually comes after. What comes first is the gameplay. No word of a lie guys, in my first hour of the game I literally said, "What a game," out loud, to a cat. Yeah, I know that's crazy, but the gameplay literally blew my head off, and it did it really quickly. I didn't have to wait until hours into the game to discover this. For an older game that I'd never previously heard of, I was surprised at first off how well it runs, up to 1080p and 60 FPS on a base level PS4 and Xbox, and second, how insane the gameplay actually feels. You see, it switches between game types seamlessly. One moment you're in a typical third-person hack-and-slash RPG, the next minute it's a side-scrolling platformer, then it's a top-down hack-and-slash, then it's a Souls-like, and then it's a twin-stick shooter. The crazy thing is that after the opening sequence of the game, you'll find that none of this is jarring. It doesn't knock you out of the flow of the game. At first when I read about that part I didn't like the sound of it, but something I liked was that it doesn't fix you into these modes for entire levels. You'll switch between them based on where you are in the mission. You'll also switch between them on the fly during boss fights, based on what's happening around you. And none of it feels like you've been playing that style for too long. So if you don't enjoy the twin stick mode for example, it really won't take long before you're back to the RPG style again. You'll find yourself playing a mixture of linear missions where you follow a set path and story, and more open world RPG style gameplay with side quests, NPCs to talk to, items to buy, upgrades to make to your character in terms of both weapons, buffs and your pod. If you enjoy boss fights and challenges, Nier Automata is packed with them. They're memorable to say the least. The mechanics of the boss fights are really interesting and each boss fight goes through multiple phases which changes up the combat and the challenge. You'll find yourself dodging attacks, both ranged and melee, avoiding stuff on the floor, weaving in between lasers, having to take down waves of enemies at certain points, switching into minigames to stop certain mechanics, and just when you get comfortable with the rhythm, the boss will change it up and you'll be dealing with something completely different. Honestly, the boss fights in this game feel truly epic. In terms of the combat itself, the hack and slash is brilliant and transitions really well in both the traditional third person and in the side scrolling. Hits are fast and combinations are fluid. Your combinations change based on which weapon set you've chosen to use. You can buy and upgrade your weapons individually too. You set yourself up so that your light attacks use one weapon and your heavy attacks use a second, both of which you can allocate where you like. You can also go unarmed if you wish. During combat you can dodge around attacks, and if you time your dodge perfectly you will do a semi-warp type of movement, which not only gets you out of trouble, but leaves your opponent open for a barrage of damage. You can do mid-air attacks too and flow from ground to air pretty seamlessly. On top of that, you have the ability to shoot with your little drone friend. This is awesome during boss fights for when you're forced to keep your distance. You'll also have the ability to change what type of range damage you do by equipping different items here as the game progresses. Nier Automata also has a bunch of little touches that really finish things off. If you die, you have the opportunity to go and get your body and recover anything you've lost on death. This reminded me a little of Souls games. The game isn't designed to be as punishing as Souls games, however. You're unlikely to die too often to bog standard enemies, but the boss fights themselves will definitely test you. Another little touch is that if you're connected to a network and playing online, you will come across the bodies of other players around the world. At this point you can pray for them, which will give them a full heal in the game if they're still playing at the time. After that you have the choice to either collect their parts, which will give you some XP and some passive bonuses to your character, or you can repair them and an AI version of their character will join you for a while and help you with combat. The game literally has something for everyone. The character progression is great, and the only downside is that you can't actually build your own character. The icing on the cake, and this goes very slightly into spoiler territory, but it's widely known these days, is that there are multiple playthroughs to experience which delve more into the story from a number of different angles and will give you different endings to the game. After you finish your playthrough you will be given some options. I'll say no more about it other than you should definitely follow this up. If you enjoyed your first playthrough then you definitely won't regret investing some more time. On top of all that, the soundtrack for the game is incredible. Obviously that's personal taste, but it does a fantastic job of capturing the mood and resonating with the atmosphere. As always guys, I won't outright tell you to go and buy this game, that's not my place, but seriously, go and play it. If you missed Nier Automata like I did and you're looking for something to play, it's definitely worth some thought. I hope you found this useful. Leave me a like and comment if you don't mind, sub if you're new, and I'll wrap it up there. Thank you for watching, take care, stay safe, bye bye now.